Hey guys, it's me Zoda, welcome back to another video. Today we're talking about my favourite subject, My Little Pony. First of all, I'm sorry if I sound a little bit different in this video. I am recovering from a cold and my voice still isn't 100% yet, but I've been putting off this video because I lost my voice and it's almost normal, so we're doing it. Today we're diving into a My Little Pony subject that I feel like I don't see people talk about at all, and when I do see people talking about it, it's in a negative light, because we're diving into the My Little Pony spin-off of G4, Pony Life mini-series spin-off that ran from 2020 to 2021, so not very long, but featuring the same main six we know and love, but they're a bit different. Pony Life is considered to be G4.5 because it's still in the Generation 4 universe. It's got the same characters, same voice actors mostly, but it is very different to Friendship is Magic, but it's also not a new generation. It is not G5, so it's considered to be G4.5. So Pony Life came out a year after the ending of season 9 of My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. The show finally ended after a long run of 9 seasons, and we were all wondering what's gonna be next. My Little Pony is a show that has been rebooted several times to suit the current audience. If you don't understand what I'm talking about, there are several different generations of My Little Pony, Generation 1 being the first generation of My Little Pony and Generation 5 being the last. But there is still more to come. We're supposed to be getting Generation 6 like next year apparently, but we don't know anything about it yet. So we all knew that My Little Pony was going to be rebooted soon because that's just how the show works. But Friendship is Magic went on for so long that we were all kind of wondering what they were going to do next. Well, before we did get Generation 5, we got Pony Life instead. And I remember when we first found out about Pony Life, everyone was kind of freaking out a little bit because we were thinking, oh my god, is this Generation 5? Is this what it's going to look like now? People were very quick to hate on the art style and compare it to Teen Titans Go, but also the first announcement we got of Pony Life was a really weird announcement. First promotional material we got for Pony Life was this strange ad posted to the My Little Pony Instagram page showing the new Pony Life toys and some small shots from the cartoon, playing the song Good as Hell by Lizzo. I remember very clearly when this ad first came out. It was a confusing time. We finally get an announcement for new pony stuff and it's this strange ad with a Lizzo song and the ponies are saying good as hell. Are they allowed to say that? It mostly just showed the toys with a couple of small shots from the show, but these little animation shots they put in looked quite bad. This ad is honestly just not a good ad. It really made the show look like it was gonna be really bad. I think just from that, people did not want to give it a chance, and I don't really blame them. This was a really weird ad. It was just like weird expressions and it was just really strange. It didn't feel like My Little Pony at all. They actually ended up removing this ad off everything. It was actually really hard for me to find it for this video. I think because they realized they maybe shouldn't put good as hell in an ad for children's toys. I don't know how they didn't think of that beforehand. So it got removed everywhere and it took me so long to find it. This announcement was quite a shock to the fandom. Everyone was freaking out saying, is this G5? We're all doomed. It's Teen Titans Go. It's the Bean Mouth. But then people realized that it is just a spin-off. It is not Generation 5. It's a spin-off show of Friendship is Magic. And it's clearly aimed at a younger audience. I mean, My Little Pony is already for a young audience anyway. It just happens to also appeal to a lot of adults, but Pony Life is pretty clearly for, you know, a lot younger kids, which is fair. That's usually where they make the most of their money. It's not really surprising that they would make a spin-off aimed at an even younger audience because more toys, more money, that's what they're here for. But I think after seeing this ad, a lot of MLP fans didn't bother to watch the show. So yeah, a rough start, but later we got to see the intro for the Pony Life series. And this gives us a much better look at what the show's actually gonna look like and the animation. I really like the intro. I think it's super cute. The animation's adorable, the song's cute, and it still has that really nice smooth animation that Friendship is Magic has. It's just in a different art style. The characters are super chibi-fied and cute looking, and it's obvious just by this intro that the show's gonna be quite different to Friendship is Magic. The show consists of short 10-minute episodes, but the episodes are usually split into 2 parts. Now I think 10 minutes is the perfect time for mini episodes. I think 5 minutes is way too short. My Little Pony Tell Your Tale episodes were 5 minutes and I just found that to be way too short. Not a lot you can do in 5 minutes, but 10 minutes I think is a much better time, so I'm glad most of the Pony Life episodes are actually 10 minutes just split into 2 episodes. But it's still 1 episode. just 2 parts. it's a little bit confusing. Immediately you can tell that the show has a completely different vibe to Friendship is Magic. But I quite like the show. I've rewatched it several times now. There is only 2 seasons with 40 episodes in total, so it's actually a pretty short series. It wasn't a very successful series though. Most bronies definitely didn't like it, but I do think it was somewhat enjoyed by young kids considering the amount of views on some of their YouTube shorts. But I can't imagine sales of the Pony Life toys were high. Unfortunately, there is not a way of me to find out how well the toys sold, but based on the toys we got and how I mostly saw them in clearance shelves, I can't imagine they did well. Let's talk about the differences between My Little Pony Friendship is Magic and Pony Life. The biggest criticism for Pony Life I see is the lack of adventure and fantasy elements that we saw in Friendship is Magic. Pony Life focuses more on silly slice of life stories and some basic life lessons for kids thrown in there. Friendship is Magic has a lot of world building and sometimes deep storytelling, but you're not going to find this on Pony Life. Well, maybe a little bit. We'll get to that later. Unfortunately, there's not a lot of action in Pony Life. You're not going to see the ponies fighting monsters, which I do miss. But hold on just a second. Sometimes it's okay to just like watch silly things too. Just something silly and cute that makes you happy. It doesn't always have to be deep storytelling. I mean, we are talking about magical horses here, so you know, can't take it too seriously. Let the horses be silly. Honestly, some of the Pony Life episodes kind of remind me of really early My Little Pony Friendship is Magic, like season 1 and 2 episodes, where they were a little bit more slice of life and didn't take itself so seriously. Now, you do definitely have to separate the Friendship is Magic universe from the Pony Life universe, because they are very different, and if you try to compare them too much, then you're probably not going to like it. The Pony Life versions of the main 6 are exaggerated versions of their personalities. They're a bit more childish and silly, and their designs are also slightly altered. Rainbow Dash, Twilight, and Pinkie I think have the most different looking hairstyles to their Friendship is Magic counterparts. I like how Rainbow's hair is a bit more messy and she kind of has this mohawk thing. I think it's super cool. Her design's definitely my favorite, but I'm also a bit biased. Even their color palettes are slightly different. Their cutie marks are also more simplified versions of them, like Pinkie Pie just has 1 balloon instead of 3, and Pinkie Pie feels more like the main character in this series. Most of the episodes take place in Sugar Cube Corner as like their cute little hangout spot, but also where Pinkie Pie works. I think Pinkie Pie suits being the kind of main character in this series. I feel like she's one of the most like well-liked ponies with young kids. And I mean, everyone loves Pinkie Pie. Pinkie Pie is still her usual hyper self in Pony Life, but probably even more hyper than usual. She spends a lot of the episodes baking sweet treats for her friends, and she also has the ability to explode. Either when she's really excited or really stressed, she explodes. That makes sense for her. So some of the ponies in this universe have kind of weird random different abilities like that, and Pinkie Pie's is exploding. I don't really know what that does for her, but it's something she can do. She also has a brother in this universe called Octavio Pie, who makes an appearance in an episode, and they have a competitive relationship. Pinkie Pie doesn't have a brother in Friendship is Magic, but she does have 3 sisters. And instead of Twilight being the Princess of Friendship ruler type, this Twilight feels a lot more like early season 1 Twilight, but amped up even more. She is still an Alcorn princess, but it doesn't really play a part in Pony Life. She's just more of an extreme bookworm scientist type. I also think that Twilight's voice sounds a bit different, even though she is still the same voice actress. I think Tara Strong puts a bit of a more cartoony voice on Pony Life Twilight, and she sounds a lot more like Timmy Turner in a lot of scenes, I think, than Twilight Sparkle. Twilight does spend a lot of the series freaking out, which I guess she does in Friendship is Magic too, but she kind of does it more extreme in Pony Life. And she also shatters into a million pieces when she's stressed, so poor Twilight, give this girl a break. Fluttershy seems to be, I guess, the most different character in my opinion. She kind of seems to be less shy and less caring for animals in Pony Life. And in some episodes she can come across a little bit kind of rude to her friends.
Friendship is free like a butterfly that you can put in a jar forever.
But also her friends do lie to her throughout like the whole season 1, so. But I do love Fluttershy's ability to be able to shrink and enlarge whenever she wants. But also it happens uncontrollably sometimes. I like how she turned really big because she was nervous to meet a famous dolphin. And then sometimes when she's scared she will shrink really small. I think that's really cute. Now Rainbow Dash is mostly just the same Rainbow Dash, but more hyper and more sporty and probably more fast. She doesn't really have a special ability unless we count her speed, but she's always kind of had that. But she did stop time with her speed in one episode. Rarity is a more extreme version of herself, but she does come across a bit more of a diva and drama queen in Pony Life. She's also really into acting in Pony Life, which I think is a nice added detail. She does spend a lot of Pony Life like acting or investigating.
Rarity also does have the ability to teleport a fainting chair whenever she wants, but she technically can do that in Friendship is Magic too, so that's not new.
Applejack is mostly the same, but I do feel they give her a lot of her own episodes, at least in season 1, which was nice. Applejack has always been the pony that gets left out of the main 6, but I feel like they really include her in Pony Life. And my favorite thing is her ability to break the fourth wall in Pony Life. She talks to the audience a lot, which I think is really cool for her. Usually it's Pinkie Pie breaking the fourth wall in Friendship is Magic, but in Pony Life it's Applejack. But I think they forgot about this ability in season 2 because it seems to stop there, which kind of sucks because I really liked that. And we don't see much of her farm, but that's kind of nice seeing Applejack just not always at her farm all the time. We don't see a lot of different characters that aren't the main 6, but there is Spike. He does have a different voice actor, but I think his voice is pretty cute. And Discord shows up in some episodes, and I think he's the only design that I really don't like. I don't like his design in Pony Life. Why does his head look like that? Also, he sounds like Sheldon from The Big Bang Theory.
And swapping the sugars. I wonder how that could have happened.
We do get some new characters like Potion Nova. So potions are a big thing in this series. Pinkie Pie has a fridge that magically restocks magic potions for them to try, and it gives them different abilities. We discover later that Potion Nova is the one who puts the potions there. And Potion Nova is a powerful unicorn with a pretty generic personality, and she only gets like 2 episodes and then we never see her again, but she's still cool. I wish we got more of her. Also, in the first episode that she was introduced, she has wings and a horn, so she does get confused to be an alicorn, but this was just an animation error. She only has a horn in every other episode. Maybe there's some deep lore behind that. And Twilight wants to become Potion Nova's apprentice. It's a little bit of a weird dynamic because Twilight's kind of meant to be like the most powerful one, but Potion Nova seems to be more knowledgeable in magic than her in this series, and Twilight is kind of like obsessed with trying to become her apprentice. I guess Potion Nova is maybe most similar to Starlight Glimmer, except without an interesting backstory. There also is technology in this universe. They have phones and tablets and social media in Pony Life. It's pretty different to Friendship with Magic, where they don't have any like technology. I do like that Friendship with Magic doesn't have any technology. I think it has a really interesting world with, you know, old-fashioned stuff, but I do think it's kind of fun to see the ponies with technology in Pony Life. And thankfully they don't try to reference outdated memes too much. Now, I'm a toy collector, so I do have to have a toy section where we talk about the toys because they're interesting. This was a really weird time for My Little Pony toys. The show ended, so G4 toys were disappearing off the shelves, but then we got these. So I wasn't a big fan of the Pony Life toys when they came out. I don't think many people were, but I have grown to like them. So I have a couple of the regular 3-inch brushable ponies. These were called Reveal the Magic Potion ponies. There was a big potion theme throughout all the toys as well. They included a pony and some little accessories like a hairband and a brush, I think. And they made all of the main 6 as these ponies, as well as a couple of other characters like Trixie, and we got Potion Nova. I really want the toy of Potion Nova. So I didn't buy any of these toys when they were in stores, but they're pretty easy to find thrifting or for cheap on the secondhand market. I don't think a lot of people collect these, so I find them fairly easy, but I do want to find more of them because I actually quite like these little ones. I think they're pretty cute. And they do have good hair quality on these little ones, so they are quite fun to restyle as well. I have definitely grown to like these little ones. They're very cute, but I can definitely see why a lot of people don't like them. I remember when they first came out, a lot of us were comparing them to cats because they kind of don't really look like ponies. They look kind of like cats. And my least favorite thing about them is the way their muzzle looks. Like, why does it look like that? What is happening here? Why is their mouth, they got like no chins. You know what I mean? So there were some bigger ponies like this. Rainbow Dash was one of the like budget bigger Rainbow Dashes. These ones have really bad quality hair. Not a lot you can do to style their hair, which is really annoying when they don't give big ponies good hair. This is like polypropylene hair, so it's not very good. And I think the bigger they get, the more kind of insane they look, but I still like them. Also, quick note, Their cutie marks are the same as their Friendship is Magic cutie marks on the Pony Life toys, even though in Pony Life their cutie marks don't look like this. But it doesn't surprise me because they probably just didn't want to make like new stamps and just use the stamps they already had for the cutie marks. There was also Equestria Girls Pony Life toys. Now Equestria Girls ended in 2020, but they still released these Equestria Girls minis in a Pony Life type style. These are cute, but I really loved how the old Equestria Girls minis look. These ones just really look quite lame when you compare it to those ones. These have very little articulation and these rubbery outfits, but we did get Luna and Celestia. They're pretty cute. These actually also came with a figure of their Pony Life ponies too. I got these secondhand. They did not come with their pony. But also, Luna was actually never in Pony Life. Celestia was, Luna wasn't, but we still got a toy of her. We also did get a Cadence set. She did make one appearance in Pony Life. So we got these like posable ponies, life ponies with sculpted hair. This Twilight was part of the Smashing Fashion series. I also had a Rainbow Dash and a Sunset Shimmer from that series. I don't know where they went. Now these ones are kind of crazy. They came with these outfits so you could like stand them up like this and put like a dress on them, and it was kind of silly, but I kind of also like these. I like how posable they are, but they do look a little bit crazy at the same time. They just don't feel like My Little Pony at all, but I still think they were fun. There was an attempt, but they did sit on clearance shelves for a long time. They also made a DJ Pone 3. She did make a small appearance in Pony Life. Love that for her. We got another Cadence and Luna. These ones without wings for some reason. And we even got Shining Armor as a toy, which he didn't get much toys, but he did get a Pony Life toy. He also did make a small appearance in season 2 of Pony Life. He worked in a circus, so I guess they don't have royal guards in Pony Life. They just work at a circus instead. These toys seem to be very rushed, in my opinion, considering Luna and Cadence don't have their wings. What happened? There were some fashion style ponies where you could decorate their hair and they came with some clothes and stuff. I remember seeing the Cadence a lot in store, but I never got her because she had those weird things in her hair. There were also a lot of these like budget ones you could get from like dollar stores. I found this little like budget Pony Life Cadence while thrifting once, and she really confuses me because like I think it's meant to be Cadence, right? I mean, it has like her cutie mark. It's just like really plain looking, but she has Rarity's hair and it's just purple, but she has like Cadence's eyes. It's a very strange one. These really budget Pony Life toys just don't look very good, but there's still something about the sculpt that I really like. I don't know what it is. I just think that they are sculpted well, even if it's, you know, not my favorite style they've done with the ponies. I do appreciate the sculpt. There was a lot of blind bags for Pony Life though. There were these Potion Surprise blind boxes where the pony was in like a tea bag and you'd have to shake it around to reveal it. I had a few of these. I think the inflatable ones were from that series. These little like balloon shaped ponies. I have a few of these. They're so silly. I like them. But yeah, these figures are actually really cute. They also had the Secret Ring series. I have a few of those as well. This one was kind of like a Barbie color reveal. They would be like covered in red paint and then you have to like pour water on them to get the paint off and reveal what pony you got. However, I remember a few times when I got these, the paint just never came off. Or it would come off, but there would always be paint left and I couldn't get it off no matter what I did. So yeah, probably not so great, but I do think there were some cool figures out of those ring ones. So was Pony Life successful at all? Not really. Bronies didn't even want to give it a chance, and it didn't seem to be that popular with kids either. But it did air on Discovery Family, and I don't know if anyone uses Discovery Family. Is that still a thing? I don't know. I've never had cable before, so I wouldn't know. The show only ran for 2 seasons, and the toys mostly sat in the clearance shelves gathering dust. And it's a shame, because I really would have loved to see more episodes. But the show did have a proper ending, I guess. So at least it didn't end on like a cliffhanger or anything like that. I feel like season 2 of Pony Life has a lot more of an ongoing story than season 1. And we even get some new non-pony characters that make several appearances in season 2, and these characters are from an alternate universe of Ponyville. So without spoiling any, not that there's much to spoil, the ponies end up in the wrong dimension where Sugar Cube Corner is a salad bowl restaurant and it's owned by a snow leopard called Lightning Chill, who looks a lot like Alora from Generation 5. Allura. There's also a peacock called Sugar Snap and a bat called Echo. They really remind me of little pet shops with their designs. I think they look super adorable. And they even have cutie marks, which is super cute. These characters were like a big part of the story in season 2. They weren't just forgotten like Potion Nova was. And I really liked them. I think they were a really fun addition to the ponies. And I wish we got toys of them. Hello? Icy Chill plush would look so cute. I like seeing the main 6 making new friends, and I'm glad that they introduced more characters in Pony Life. It's a shame Potion Nova barely shows up after her episode. It really seemed like she was gonna have more of an impact on the story, but she doesn't. She just is there, I guess. I should also mention, when the main 6 accidentally end up in an alternate dimension in season 2 episode 6, they call this dimension the Wild Side, which is where Icy Chill and her friends are from. I noticed that this dimension is full of Discord statues. Discord is the Lord of Chaos and is the most powerful being in Equestria. He can literally warp realities. What if this is all Discord's doing? What if Discord created Pony Life? What if Pony Life is actually canon in the My Little Pony universe, but it's an ultimate dimension that Discord created? Now I'm going to be talking about spoilers here. I mean, there's not a lot to spoil in Pony Life, but if you do want to watch it yourself first, I suggest you skip this part because I'm going to talk about the last episode of Pony Life. So at the end of the last episode, season 2, episode 14, Discord does play a big part in the final Pony Life episodes, causing his usual chaos, accidentally causing the different dimensions to merge. The ponies and their new animal friends work together to restore their realities in a cute, classic My Little Pony song. It was so nice we got a song last episode because there weren't many songs in Pony Life. I think there was only like one other song. At the end of the episode, we pan out to see Pony Life is in a book, and Discord closes that book and has a jar with the portal used to travel in other dimensions on his shelf. So is this telling us that Discord did create Pony Life, or he just has access to this other dimension through a book? What is going on? Or he created it and just likes to randomly cause chaos in it every now and then with his portals. Did he also create the Wild Side dimension? Or are these all just real dimensions that he didn't create, he just likes to visit? I don't know. We don't know. There's so many questions. See, I told you there could be deep lore in Pony Life. And I just have to take a moment to appreciate the art in Pony Life because I love the art style. I think it's so cute. It's still as fluid and bouncy and colourful as Friendship is Magic. It's just in a different style. The style kind of reminds me of Littlest Pet Shop show they had. I guess maybe it's just the backgrounds that remind me of it, I don't know. One of my favourite things that I love about the show is how they gave all the characters different designs for their houses. They all have different looking houses than Friendship is Magic, and I just love these designs. You can immediately tell whose house it is just by the designs. They look so good. And Twilight gets a tree house instead of her ugly princess castle. I'm so happy for her. Every episode also has title cards at the start of the episodes. I love title cards, man. They're all done in unique art styles and I just love them. You can tell the artists had fun with these. I especially love these realistic horse ones that a couple of episodes have. They're so silly. I love them. If you've never watched Pony Life, I hope this video encourages you to watch it. I think it's a good watch. It's cute. It's a good comfort show to me, just like Friendship is Magic is. It's funny. It's made me laugh a couple of times. And I think if you're craving some more G4 content, there's some right here. It's a bit different, but it's still good. I mean, it's definitely not for everyone. It's obviously quite different to Friendship is Magic, but I still think it deserves a little more love than it gets. It's not as bad as a lot of My Little Pony fans make it out to be. So yeah, I'd love to know if you've ever watched Pony Life, or if you're gonna go watch it now because of this video. Or if you don't like it, feel free to let me know as well what you don't like about it. I'm happy to hear that. We can have a discussion here. And I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I just wanted to talk about something that I don't hear a lot of people talk about because I don't hear a lot of people that actually like it. You can watch all the episodes on YouTube, by the way. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Let me know what you'd like to see next on my channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!